Hey guys, it's Carla. Today I'm working on a canvas panel with acrylic paint. I've got white, my three primary colors, yellow, red, blue, and burnt umber. And I'm going to be using a synthetic angle brush. So the first thing I want to do is kind of sketch in what's going to be going on here. So maybe be a heel back here, one over here. And then I think I'll have some, this is going to be my main area where my flowers will be. So, so I'm going to go ahead and get that blocked in. So it'll be this whole area right here. And there'll be weeds and flowers coming up this way and kind of out this way. And then I'll have some, maybe some about right here. I don't know if there'll be flowers over here or not, maybe just weeds. We'll see. And then this is my heel back here, so it's really not going to have much going on in it. So I'm just doing negative painting, where you paint the foreground first and then paint around it with the background. And that allows you to keep everything really loose looking. So another heel over here. I want a path coming through here and kind of disappearing back here behind this heel. So it's going to be fairly light. And it's nice if you do this while everything's still wet, because you can kind of pick up some of that color, and it creates different shades and shadows and stuff. And now back here, there's going to be a little bit of sky showing, but it's mostly going to be just greenery, trees and such. So I'm just going to loosely scrub that in. I like to pick up my colors and mix them on the canvas, pick them all up on my brush. So that I get different variations of colors happening. So I know it looks pretty rough right now, but it will come together. So I'm just going to use blue and maybe some of that color. Okay, that's a good color for the sky. So just here and there it's going to show through the trees, but for the most part it's just greenery back here. Now I want different shades of greenery. Some really dark and some fairly light. I'm going to make a glaze with this burnt umber. This is just water and paint. And just kind of flavor this heel a little bit. And by doing a glaze, you're able to kind of change the color a little bit without changing the texture you've got underneath, because it'll still show through the different values and stuff. I'm just going to soften this edge. I want to keep this background very vague, so I don't want any distinct lines back here. Okay. Now I think I'll go ahead and put in some shadows right here. Just picking up a little bit of everything. So I guess my light is coming from, maybe it's high noon, maybe it's coming from up top. So I'm just going to scumble in some shadows under these. And you know, maybe there's some greenery back here. at the foot of this hill. Just very loose. And maybe some shadow for it. Something like that. Okay, now I need a highlight color for my path. I don't want it to be too colorful because I want these shadows to show up good. So I'm just gonna very loosely bring some of this highlight in. Now I might need, let me water that down and see what I can come up with here. I might need some of these hills to show up a little bit better. And when that dries, it won't be quite as bright. So hopefully that'll work. If not, I can come back, because that's one of the benefits of doing this negative painting, is you can always come back and paint around stuff if you're not happy with your background. All right, now I want to bring in some, I need to dull that down a little bit. Maybe I'll use red. Boy, that red is strong. There we go. I want to get some different shades of green going on here. When you're painting weeds, make sure that you don't have them all going in the same direction or fanned out perfectly. You want to kind of cross some of them over. Just have them going like weeds do. They grow in every direction. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put in the base coat for my flowers. And what I want is kind of a teal color. So I'm going to go dark at first, and then I can come back and highlight them. So they're very loose and abstract. so don't get too detailed with them. And some of them you'll see the whole top of the flower, and some you'll just see it from the side. Some will be smaller, some will be bigger. You just want variety. Now with that same color, and that is way too green. So with that same color, I'm going to bring in some white and lighten it. I don't want to cover up all of my dark because that's my shadow color. So I'm just scumbling in some highlights. I'm using the tip of my brush for this. Still trying to decide about having flowers over here. I really don't think I'm going to. But I can bring in some of that kind of turquoise shade, or teal, or whatever it is. Just to carry that flavor on over. Okay, now lighten this again. And put highlights on my highlights. And you just keep doing this until they're as bright as you want them. But each time you go back and put a lighter color, make sure that you don't cover up the last shade that you put on. Not all of it anyway. Okay, so should I have maybe I'll have some lighter green. Don't want anything to be too bright in this painting because it's kind of toned down. So just here and there I'm going to bring in a few little highlights. Now one last thing, I think it'll be the last thing, who knows, but I think I'm going to lighten that sky just a little, maybe make it a little less green. I want to carry that color on through a little bit in places. Whether it makes sense or not, because artistically it does. All right, that does it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, God bless you.